It's a discussion some may be afraid to have, but it is one that many say needs to be pushed to the forefront. Consider this: our country makes up 5% of the planet's population, but it holds 25% of the world's prisoners, 40% of which are African American. That's according to the Oscar-nominated documentary called 13. And the title refers to the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery. But is slavery truly gone in this country? Dr. Douglas Hicks joins us. He's leading the discussion at the Central Library this Saturday, hosted by IUPUI Museum Studies and the Circle City chapter of the Links Incorporated. Dr. Hicks, this is certainly a documentary that gets the conversation started, looking at incarceration and the jail populations in our country. What is one thing that you hope people take away from seeing this documentary 13?
Well, I think there are a lot of people that have no earthly idea as to the level of conspiracy, the institutional racism that has led to the incarceration of so many people of color. You look at that which took place with the war on drugs with Nixon and Reagan. You look at even 3 strikes and you're out. You look at all of these things. They have led to the devastation of communities where strong men have been taken away. And a lot of times they've been taken away erroneously. Google wrongful conviction and you will continue to read where DNA evidence and other factors have released people. So even before you get to the prison population, you get to the fact that the criminal justice system in general is rigged, not toward those that are historically disadvantaged.
Yeah, this looks at the privatization of jails in this country and the money-making aspect of that, and that really is a danger to African-American men in particular.
It's a dangerous thing to think about the historic subjugation of African-American males. You go back to slavery, you go back to the historic degradation that's taken place, knocking men down, and this is just another way to do that. This is a contemporary auction block that has provided an institution, the prison industrial complex. They continue to profit. They make prison bed estimations based on the I-STEP scores that our children are in the process of taking right now. And they'll look at third-grade test scores for our boys and girls and say, well, this is the projection, prognostication as to the number of beds we will build down the line. And when there are no factors, there's no effort going into mitigating these factors, yet you do see profit that takes place. You look at slavery of old and you look at what's taking place with the prison system right now and the criminal justice system, and you say that while the 13th Amendment says that we're free, it also says that if you are within the prison system, if you are a convict, then you are subject to slavery if you read it that way. And that's the way, not just has it been read, but it has been implemented. And in 2017, it's time to do something about it, which is what this thing on Saturday seeks to do. We seek to come together to take some positive steps.
And Dr. Hicks, speaking of Saturday, we're going to be seeing a screening and an in-depth discussion of that documentary 13. It's happening this Saturday starting at 2 p.m. at the Central Library in Indianapolis. It features a notable panel, including Dr. James Kilgore, who appears in the documentary himself. Yes. And so this is just a way to get the conversation going, see the documentary, and also take part in the discussion.
2 o'clock, we'll watch the documentary downtown at the library. At 4 o'clock, a panel discussion, a distinguished panel of authorities, of those that we seek knowledge from. But let's make sure we are not just talking to talk, but let's make sure we're talking for action, so that the tangible things we can do. Banning the box. Vop Osili, our councilman, has that initiative before us right now to make sure that that can go away, so that after you are back within society, and other rules and regulations from community corrections to driver's licenses, all of these issues are
going to be coming up this weekend.
That's right.
Okay.
The recidivism rate to keep our
I have to stop you there for time issues, but again, thank you, Dr. Hicks, for being here this Saturday at the Central Library at 2 o'clock. Ashley.